on my system, belt system anyways, I have no AC compressor or anything, and it's kind of like ass backwards fit onto this the belt anyways is fit onto this engine. So when I crank, this is a 5/8 wrench right here for my tensioner, and I barely have any. You can see that's as much play as I have. It doesn't really loosen the belt up, so I can't get it off of the splines of the pulleys. I'm gonna go ahead and slide it off this middle spline because that one doesn't have any, or middle pulley, sorry, because that one doesn't have any splines. So just kind of heads up. So got the belt off. Once you get the belt off of the whole pulley system, you want to come over here, take your power steering cap off. There's a top line for the power steering pump and reservoir. You can see I already got it loose down here. It's going to start draining out depending on how much power steering fluid you have in your pump. So you're just going to want to let that drain out for a little bit. Mine kind of is sitting up, which kind of sucks, but it's going to drain out of this nipple anyways for out of this nipple for the power steering reservoir and the pump anyway. So I've already flushed the system trying to get the power steering to work before, so I don't really have to worry too much about what's in my rack. And then you also are going to have this hard line, well, at least it's hard line to the back of the power steering pump that you're gonna have to undo, and then yeah, just go from there. And then once I get those two kind of drained out most of the way, then I'm gonna come back and undo this bracket system to get the whole thing out. So I'm gonna try to get down in there. It's kind of dark, sorry about that. So for this bigger line down here that hooks onto your power steering pump, what I'm using is a 3/4 inch wrench and a crescent wrench. They might both be 3/4, but I just don't have two 3/4 inch wrenches on me. So, but yeah, so I broke that free, letting that drain out a little bit, which she's draining pretty good. Now I'm going to get started on taking apart this pulley system. So from what I've read anyways, and what I understand, this is my first time working on an LS engine, or a little baby LS 4.8 liter. I believe it is like this bolt down here, this bolt, and maybe this bolt. Not 100%, but then you should be able to leave your alternator on this whole entire bracket, and then just take it all out in one piece, and then once it's out, then attack this lower power steering pulley. The only reason I'm doing all this is because my lower power steering pulley is really like hard to get to, and I need to get a puller in there to get the pulley off to get the power steering pump out. And my power steering pump is totally shot because the last owner was driving the car with the low power steering fluid, and that's what happens with the pumps, especially on these GMC or Chevy LS engines. If the fluid goes low, you're just gonna burn your pump up. And this is like a track car, so are going to be a track car anyways, so I need power steering, so that's why I'm doing it. Alrighty, so this one, and this one are all going to be 15 metric to get them out. I kind of already have them started. Just wanted to let you guys know. I got these 3 front bolts out. Now I'm going to get this lower little bolt out, and that's just holding the bracket that holds the whole power steering pump and reservoir onto the block, and then it should pop out from what I've read and watched. that done. Just joking. So here's your whole bracket for the power steering pump and reservoir, and then here's your alternator and everything. Here's the bracket. I'm gonna turn you upside down for a second. So below the power steering pump and reservoir, there's one last bolt down there that you got to get out, and then once you get that out, it is going to pop out. So just a heads up. So since I left that lower bolt in on accident, I'm just gonna hand feed a couple of these back in. That way when I do let that lower one out, it's not just gonna fucking drop down on me. Kind of a dumb move. I should have done the bottom one first, but forgot about it. So yep. Alright, so now that I got all those bolts out, I pretty much just took that last hand threaded one that I had in there out, and now you got your whole bracket system right here. Got the alternator, got the power. This is what I'm replacing down here, not the pulley, but just this reservoir and stuff. It's kind of hard to see, but you can definitely tell my power steering pump has just been fucking leaking like a sieve. Okay, so once you get your bracket off and everything, you're gonna get one of these guys, and this is here, I'll show you. Rented a pulley, puller and installer kit. So this is what you're gonna remove the pulley with. So you're gonna just tighten this down until it grabs a little bit. And you want to grab this under lip because you're at first you're going to be pulling this off. So once you get the right depth with this, so I'm going to have to go pretty much all the way down. You want to snug it a little bit just so it holds the these little collars on. Okay, once you get it under that lip and everything, you're going to slide this collar over the top, and then just keep tightening her down. And then you're going to loosen it. That way it grabs a little bit. Alrighty. So that's just gonna kind of sit there, but you're definitely gonna want to like hold it around it. So this is just so you guys can get a better idea. These two couplers are underneath the lip of the pulley, because when you tighten this guy down, it's going to push down on that center part of the pump, which is going to pull this off of it. And then once you get these two little fucking coupler things on there, this is going to slide over, and that's just to kind of hold them together so they don't just spread right out on you. So yeah, and then you're just going to crank down on this and it's going to pull it off. Pulling this pulley off is going to need quite a bit of like torque and power. So, and I don't have an impact on me, so I'm having a buddy come over so he can torque or hit this with his impact, and I'm going to hold the pulley at the same time. In the meantime of waiting for him, because he's going to be here pretty quick, back here, try to get a good angle on it. So you got your bracket that sits back here. Looks like that. There's the two 15 mils right here, or one right here and one down here. You're gonna take those off, obviously, to get this bracket off. I just got the bracket on the back side, kind of holding the other alternator and power steering bracket up right now. And then right here you have this hard line. So right here you're gonna have a hard line, and I want to say, okay, I used a crescent to get this off and a hammer, but you're going to take that off as well. And once you have this off, you're just gonna, here's my new power steering pulley, the back side of it. You're gonna want to thread that in kind of the same angle that the old one was in the old power steering pump. And then obviously these are those 15 mils off of the old one right here that hold the bracket on. I already have them kind of chilling on the new power steering pump. And then once you get, I'm kind of just doing this to get ready for when I put it in. So I'm going to put this hard line in here. I don't know if everybody does it, but I'm going to Teflon tape some of these threads. I know it's like there's a washer on here that just sits into here anyways, but I'm just going to do it as like an extra precaution. That way it doesn't leak on me. So yeah, step by step, get in there. Here's the old power steering pump. Sorry about the lighting, it's kind of hard to see out here, but got the bracket off, got the hard line off. Set that down. This is the new power steering pump. Got the bracket on the back now, got the hard line mounted, and that's pretty much all you need to do before you put it back into the car, or mount it back onto this bracket, which I'll be doing this pulley next, and then taking the old one off.